Last night, something happened that I never thought was possible. My wife and I both woke up at the same moment, our bodies completely frozen, unable to move or even call out to each other. The room was pitch dark, but I could see her eyes wide open, staring in terror at the same corner of the room that I was. For a few seconds, we were both paralyzed, trapped in our own bodies, and the only thing we could do was watch as a dark, shadowy figure slowly emerged from the darkness. Its eyes glowed with a cold, unnatural light, and its presence was so strong that the air felt heavy and icy. I tried to convince myself it was just a nightmare, but the fear was too real, and the way my wife was watching it made me realize I wasn't the only one seeing this thing. We always thought sleep paralysis was something that happened to people alone, but that night, we both experienced the same terror together. In this video, I want to share every detail of what happened, the fear, the helplessness, the desperate struggle to move, and the question that still haunts us: was it all just a dream, or did we both really see the same demon in our room? If you've ever woken up paralyzed, or if you and someone you love have ever shared a nightmare, you're not alone. Let's face the darkness together. It was a night like any other. My wife and I had dinner together, laughed at a silly show, and talked about our plans for the weekend. There was nothing unusual about the day, no arguments, no stress, just the comfort of our usual routine. We both got ready for bed, brushed our teeth, and settled under the covers. The room was quiet. The only sound was the soft hum of the fan and the distant noise of cars outside. I remember glancing at my wife as she drifted off to sleep, her face peaceful and relaxed. I turned off the lights, feeling grateful for the calm and safety of our home. As I closed my eyes, I had no idea that our ordinary night was about to become the most terrifying experience of our lives. Sometimes, the scariest stories begin when everything seems perfectly normal. If you've ever felt completely safe, only to have that feeling shattered in an instant, you'll understand what happened to us that night. I woke up suddenly, not sure what had disturbed me. The room was pitch black, but I could sense that something was off. I turned over and saw my wife sitting up in bed, her eyes wide open, staring at the far corner of the room. At first, I thought she was just having a nightmare, but she didn't move or blink. She just kept staring, completely still. I whispered her name, but she didn't respond. My heart started to race as I realized she wasn't asleep, but she wasn't really awake either. The air felt heavier, and the shadows in the room seemed deeper than usual. I tried to convince myself it was just a bad dream, but the fear was too real. I reached out to touch her arm, and she flinched, but her eyes never left that dark corner. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. I had never seen her like this before, and the sense of dread in the room was overwhelming. It was as if we were both waiting for something to happen, something we couldn't see but could definitely feel. As I followed my wife's gaze, I saw it, a dark, shadowy figure standing in the corner of our room. At first, it was just a shape, barely visible against the darkness, but the longer I stared, the clearer it became. The figure was tall and thin, with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce right through me. I felt a wave of cold fear wash over me, and I couldn't look away. My wife's breathing grew shallow, and I could see her hands gripping the sheets tightly. The shadow didn't move, but its presence was overwhelming, filling the room with a sense of dread I had never felt before. I tried to tell myself it was just a trick of the light, but deep down, I knew it was something more. The room felt colder, and I could see my breath in the air. The shadow's eyes locked with mine, and for a moment, I felt completely exposed, as if it could see every fear I'd ever had. I wanted to run, to wake up, to do anything but stare into those eyes, but I was frozen in place, trapped by the shadow's gaze. I tried to move, but my body wouldn't respond. It was as if the shadow's presence had paralyzed me, holding me down with an invisible force. My wife was still sitting up, her eyes wide and unblinking, and I could see the terror on her face. I wanted to reach out to her, to pull her close and protect her, but I couldn't move a muscle. My heart was pounding so loudly I thought it would burst, and my breath came in short, shallow gasps. The room felt smaller, the walls closing in around us, and the shadows seemed to grow larger, filling the space with its darkness. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I could feel the sweat on my forehead, the cold air on my skin, and the weight of the shadow pressing down on me. It was the most helpless I had ever felt, and I started to wonder if we would ever escape. The fear was suffocating, and I could see the same panic in my wife's eyes. We were both trapped, unable to move or speak, completely at the mercy of whatever was in our room.